It's early Saturday morning. I'm outside Aldi's. I'm just waiting for it to open so that I can go in and grab some shopping. We're going to do a £2 a day, week-long limited budget food challenge. I'm going in for lots of veg, fruit, healthy, and batch cooking. So Saturday morning, I've got 2 days off and then I work a lot of hours Monday to Friday. I'm doing this as a solo challenge, just myself. I'll take you into Aldi's. We'll go grab the shopping. We'll get home. We'll go through what I picked up. I picked up some meal prep containers from Amazon. I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys. These are BPA free, freezable, microwavable. These are just going to be a bit of a game changer when it comes to meal prep. Looking forward to this one. I just come off the back of a £1 a day challenge from ChatGPT, and I'll be totally honest with you, I didn't enjoy it. Right. Anyway, enough waffling on. We're going to go in, grab the shopping, and then we'll have a chat when we get back home. Right, let's take a look at all the lovely goodies I've got for this week's food. We got some celery, picked up 5 bananas. I went for the green ones because then they can ripen up during the week. Getting in those greens this week, we got some baby leaf salad, baby spinach, red chard, baby green lettuce, and some baby red leaves. We got 6 free range. Well, I always try and get free range even on a tight budget, just because of the animal welfare. Medium eggs, baby plum tomatoes, baby plum tomatoes. I think there's a bit more flavour in these plum tomatoes compared to the cherry ones, and they're the same price. As you can see, loads of fresh fruit and veg in this lot. Best of British apples. I normally go for the essentials range, but these ones were reduced today. They're on special promo. Some big chunky thick apples there. Something which occurs a lot in these challenges because it's so cheap, versatile, and packs out meals really nicely. We got the long grain rice, 1 kilogram. Tin of mixed beans. I could have bought kidney beans, I could have bought chickpeas. I thought I'd go for a mix of beans to do a chili. We've got black-eyed beans, chickpeas, haricot beans, pinto beans, red kidney beans, and azuki beans in water. Nice variety of beans in there. Not very good at doing dried beans in our local supermarkets, unless I'm missing something. Let me know in the comments. Plain flour. Now, I could have gone for self-raising and some yogurt, made flatbreads. But I've done that a few times in some challenges, and I fancy making some bread, seeing how we get on making bread using plain flour. And also, I have been meaning for a while to make tortillas. I want to try and make some tortilla wraps and burritos and stuff like that. So I've gone for plain flour, also known as all-purpose flour. Some British carrots. Slightly cheaper to buy them ones again than the wonky ones. Normally wonky carrot packs are my go-to. But these are on offer as well. A big bag of potatoes. I did go for the wonky ones for the price. Something I have noticed, it would be really cool if they did like a smaller pack, maybe 1 kilogram instead of the 2.5 of the standard potatoes. So you can buy baby potatoes, but sometimes you want larger potatoes for cooking and dicing. But they always seem to be in really large bags. When you're cooking as an individual, you don't need that many potatoes. I could have done with half of them. Freed me up a little bit of money to buy something else. Just a little moan there. Just something I've noticed doing individual challenges. Pack of red lentils. High in protein, high in fibre. A brilliant source of protein when we're not buying meat. Again, protein in the beans as well. And the eggs. I didn't mention the eggs, did I? British brown onions. Again, I normally go for the wonky packs. Didn't have any in stock today, so I went for the Nature's Pick. Some nice onions in there as well. Quite a lot of the recipes this week call for at least 1 onion anyway. Some nice fresh mixed chilies. Got a red and a couple of green in there. Some tomato passata. I don't know, which way is it? I'll get told off either way. Just a bit more concentrated for adding into some of the recipes I want to use over the tin chopped tomatoes. 1 whole large garlic. Again, I could use dried garlic, but personally I feel like fresh garlic's going to add that extra bit of flavour, nutrients and just freshness to the recipes. And then I picked up some original oats sachets. Now, I normally buy, so people will mention this in the comments, I imagine. I normally buy a big bag of the oats. This is about convenience. So the whole point of this challenge, let me move that out of the way. The whole point of this challenge this week is about meal prepping. We're going to batch cook, freeze down and have all our meals prepared. I work early in the morning. Sometimes it's a real struggle to force porridge down me. Last week I did that 1 pound a day challenge and I had 140 grams of oats to eat in the morning and predominantly adding 5 grams or 10 grams of lard, which isn't great. So I've opted for the original flavoured oats. So it's just the oats but in convenient packs. It helps me to portion out, moderate my ration, like the amount I'm eating. I just add hot water. You can boil it or you can microwave it, but I just add hot water. But we're going to add with them, we're going to have apple, banana. So we're going to have fruit combined with some seasoning, some cinnamon maybe, some stuff like that in the morning with our porridge. On one of the days I'm not working, so Sunday tomorrow, if I can get round to making a loaf of bread tonight, we will have egg on toast, but the majority of days we'll be having porridge. I don't know, just because it's a convenience thing, you buy these, stick these in the cupboard, take them to work. If you're eating at work or you're eating on the go, I just think they're a good idea. I really am waffling on. I'm going to have some breakfast. Let's get in the kitchen, get breakfast done. I've got to run some errands today, being Saturday. And then I'll get on and make my first lot of batch cooking, I think. I hadn't shared the receipt with you guys. So the plain flour was 78p. The potatoes, £1.49. Porridge sachets 99p, red lentils 99p, onions 99p. The rice was 52 pence, the mixed beans 69p, passata 55p, baby plum tomatoes 62p, carrots 69p, baby leaf salad 69p, eggs 6-pack £1.45, celery 75p, apples 89p, bananas 78p, chilies 57p, and the extra large garlic 37p. So that's a total of £13.81. We did have an extra 19p spare. Let's start the week off with one of the porridges. I'm going to add in some ground cinnamon because it goes nicely with apple. And we're going to add some water. Slice up the apple. I think we'll go half the apple. And we'll save the other half as a snack during the day. Not chucking the apple. Quite a lot of apple. These are big apples. That's a good start to the challenge. Porridge oats, cinnamon, and an apple. Some fruit, some protein, and some sauce to keep us going till lunchtime. First thing I want to do is cook up a load of the rice. I'm going to cook up all the rice, I think, and then I can portion it out, which is going to save on cooking, boiling multiple loads of rice, just time and efficiency. Just going to rinse that off first. Right, let's get that cooking. Right, so the first lot of batch cooking we're going to do is the lentil stew, which happens to be vegan, which is an extra bonus. So we've got the lentils, which is going to be the bulk of it. We're going to use some olive oil, one of our onions, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 stalks of celery. Seasoning wise, we're going to go with Italian seasoning, some paprika, some cumin, and some thyme. We're going to use a cup of passata. We've got 2 medium carrots, 1 medium potato. A little bit wonky, but we knew that when we were getting into it, so I might have to cut the end off that. So I am actually going to grab a second potato, 1 healthy medium potato, and then we're going to make 6 cups of broth, and then salt and pepper to go with it. I've got the apple out because I'm going to eat that in a minute. I've done all my rice for the week. That's a lot of rice there. That's cooling down. I deliberately left it a little bit sticky and wet because I feel like it freezes better. And then when it comes to being defrosted and used, it reheats better in the microwave with a bit of moisture. Before anyone says that looks a little bit sticky, that's right. Let's get on and do the prep for this. Make sure to save your celery and carrot trimmings for making your own veggie stock, or adding to chicken stock if that's what you're making. Same with the onion, but you don't want a lot of brown onion skin because it can give a little bit of a bitter taste to stock. So they recommend you don't use too much of that. I've diced the potatoes, the carrots, the onions, the celery, and the garlic. I put all of the trimmings. These were a little bit rough, weren't they, on the outside, so I haven't really added them to the stock, but that's gone in the stock, some of that, and yeah. Right, so first of all, we're going to heat the oil, add the onions for 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and get that done. 1 tablespoon of olive oil. You could use sunflower oil, cooking oil, any oil you've got. So that heat up for a minute, then the onions are going in for 3 minutes. So the oil's heated up. Gonna add the onions. Doesn't matter if a little bit of celery goes in with it. Once the onions have softened, we're going to add the garlic, and then that can cook for a further minute. Next, we're going to add the celery. And the spices. So, spice wise, We're going 1 teaspoon. Teaspoon don't fit in there, so I'll do 2 halves. 1 full teaspoon of the Italian herbs. Half a teaspoon of the cumin. Half the teaspoon of paprika. And then half a teaspoon of the thyme. That gets 30 seconds just to release the spices and the herbs. Next we're going to add 1.5 cups of lentils, which I've just soaked, just to get any dirt or dust off of them. That's why they're a bit stuck together. The 6 cups of stock. The carrots. The diced potato. And the cup of passata. Passata. Smells really tasty and aromatic already. One thing I didn't mention was to add 1 bay leaf. I didn't mention that at the beginning. Give that a mix. Bring this to the boil, and then we're going to set it to simmer for 40 minutes or until the lentils are soft and cooked. Right, let's take a look at these meal prepping tubs. I got these off of Amazon. If these are any good and you want to pick some up, I'll put the link in my description of this video. Meal prep containers, eat healthy and live lean. These are the 28-ounce tubs. These got really high reviews, but there was the occasional review on here which said they found theirs broken when they received them. But they're in a solid box, so I'm optimistic that we're going to get all 20. I think it's all 20 at the moment for like 14 quid. These would be good for me for portion control as well, because that is something I have an issue with. They're quite shallow. I'm going to do rice there and then whatever we're serving up. Let's have a go. Just give that a stir. That's simmering down lovely. So I'll portion out. I want to see how far this rice is going to go. So I portioned out the rice. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 meals. Which is perfect because I wanted 14 meals other than breakfast, and giving it away already, I'm doing a roasted carrot soup at some point, which is not going to require rice. So this is going to cover the meals I need for the recipes I'm cooking for the rest of the week. Perfect. And then I'm just going to give this a stir. This is looking lovely. Start making some space. This go on nicely as well, look. Oh, I'm really happy with them. These are going to be really good. These are going to be good for when I'm at work in general. Batch cooking is something I've really wanted to get into anyway. Vicky's on board. She's not doing this challenge with me. She's going to try it all. So that's going to go in the freezer. I'm going to cover these up. So that's quite a lot of lentil stew there. So I definitely think we'll make 5 meals out of that. I'm going to get these in the freezer, and over the course of the week we can see how well these hold up to being frozen and used in the microwave, can't we? Give them a little road test. Right, I'm going to make some tortillas, and the reason why I'm doing it quickly is because my son's about to come home with his mates to go in the pool. So I need to do this quickly because you won't hear a single thing that's just going on. What we're going to do is we're going to make it using 2 cups of the plain flour. 1, 2. I'm going to go for oil with this recipe. I'm just going to do 5 tablespoons of oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do 1 teaspoon of salt in some warm water, 160 mils of water. You can skip out the salt, but it's not going to taste as nice. Just going to stir that salt into the water, and while that's doing, we're just going to combine the flour and the oil. And then add in most of the water, because you can't take it away once you've added the water, so it's always best to add most of it first to see if you're going to need the rest, which we do, till we form a shaggy dough. I don't know why I packed the flour away, because I'm going to need that out now so I can knead the dough. So we're going to flour the work surface, flour my hands as well to start with. Now I've got that into a nice ball of dough. I'm going to stick that in a bowl. I'm going to leave it to rest. Well, it says minimum of 15 minutes, but I'm going to give it half an hour. While that's resting, we'll serve up some of this lentil stew for lunch. Add a bit of cracked black pepper. Mix that in because that's going to go in our trays. Well, there we go. Lentil stew served with rice. That's stunning. Right, let's get some served up. Let's get some portioned off into here. When I find the bay leaf, I'll be removing the bay leaf. And then I'm going to hold back a little bit. There's the bay leaf. I'm going to hold back a little bit to do dinner. I've got an idea to do some tortilla egg wraps with some of the salad leaf I've got, but this might add a little bit extra protein to the dinner. So there we go. Out of one hearty lentil stew, I've got lunch and I've got 4 meals laid out. Batch made, prepped in advance meals. Some of these are going to be lunch, some of these are going to be dinner. And that lentil stew has gone a long way. Right, I'm going to sit down and eat my lunch before the boys get round here and create Mary hell. I'm doing very well because the boys have been really noisy, but I'm not going to interrupt them. It's Saturday. Just going to let them enjoy themselves. I'm certainly not going to say stop making noise while I film something. Anyway, I've taken 2 chunks of the dough. I can leave the dough like that sealed up in the fridge till tomorrow. I'll show you how I rolled that out tomorrow when I make some more. That's no issue. I've got 1 more on the go there. I've got 1, so I'm going to have 2 for tea. I've used what's left over of the lentil stew, and I've scrambled a couple of eggs in some black pepper, and I'm serving it with a bit of salad, and I'm just going to wrap them over. I'm going to have them as like flat wraps, like flatbreads, like that. So that's going to be my tea for tonight, and that'll be day 1 done. So I'm going to have 2 of them, and then I'm just going to get on and do the kids' dinner so that I can take Vicky out to the cinema tonight. So busy day. Breakfast on day 2. So Sunday, I was planning on having egg on toast, but I haven't made bread yet because I was busy yesterday doing the batch cooking and stuff, and time does get away if you've done it. Anyway, breakfast day 2 is 2 of the porridge sachets with a whole banana sliced up and a little bit of maple syrup. 2 sachets today because I'm off down the allotment all morning and I plan on doing a load of digging, so I need the energy. Right, we're going to batch cook a mixed bean chilli today. Just going to put some olive oil in the pan, and then we're going to add onion, to start with. I did something very silly, which means I had to take a half hour out. I chopped up the chili. So we've got a carrot, some of the plum tomatoes, one of the chilies, the red chili, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 onions, because I want a lot of onions in this one, and celery. As I cut this and took the seeds out, I actually rubbed my nose, and it was agony. And my eyes were streaming. Vicky come in going, what is wrong? What's going on? And I explained that I was a numpty. And I rubbed my nose. Honestly, it took me ages to recover from that. I want these onions quite chunky. Add a bit of texture to the chili. Some people might say this is a bit overkill on the onion, but I guess it depends on how much you like onion, doesn't it? Because for me, this is perfect. Get that all in the pan. Slice up the garlic. Do the celery as well. I'm giving this celery a wash. There's quite a bit of mud on this celery. Again, we're going to go quite thick with all the veg. And the carrot. Still feel my nose tingling now. And this is purely because I don't trust myself now, because of what I did. And then we've got the tomatoes, which I'm just going to quarter because they were cooked down and soften. It's just nice to get some fresh tomatoes in there, as well as the passata. Because I'm using the passata to cook, I cooked the lentil stew with some of it. I'm using some of it to add flavour to the chili. And I will be using some in the potato curry I'm cooking during the week. Right, we'll add the garlic. Cook that down for a little bit. Right, then we add the rest of the veg. Not touching the peppers. Right, spices wise, I was going to add some cayenne pepper, but I already know from my nose experience that that's going to be too much heat. The chilies alone is going to give it enough heat. So what I think we're going to do is we'll add a teaspoon of smoked paprika, using half teaspoon to fit in the actual thing. We'll add a bit of cumin. We'll do half a teaspoon of cumin. We'll add a little bit of the bean water, and at this stage I'm going to chuck in a beef stock cube. Get that all mixed around. Add the rest of the tin of beans, including the water, because it's got a bit more nutrients in it. It's better than just adding tap water. And to make it go a little bit further and add some extra protein, I've just rinsed off half a cup of red lentils. And then we're going to add roughly half a cup of passata. Someone's going to have a go at me for that pronunciation. And then as needed, just going to top up with some water, because I know that the lentils are going to soak up a lot of moisture anyway, and we want this to simmer for 30 minutes. And then my secret ingredient, which the kids love in my chilies, is add a bit of barbecue sauce. A couple of squirts of barbecue sauce. bring that up to the boil, and then we'll simmer. But first of all, I want to add a pinch of salt and a decent amount of cracked black pepper. While the chili's cooking, we've got our lunch, which is one of our pre-prepped rice with lentil stew. These trays microwave really well, keep all the steam in. I just lift the corner. I'm going to mash all this in. Give it a try. It's going to be hot. Absolutely delicious. Going to enjoy eating these during the week. Oh yeah, I didn't show you guys. So tray wise, granted I do have a big freezer. As you can see, the trays fit really nicely. So I've got some with just the plain rice, and then I've got a couple with the lentil stew on top as well. When the chili's finished, I'll pull some out, and then I can add the chili when it's cooled down, whack them in the freezer. Probably get one out now ready to take to work tomorrow as well. Happy days. After simmering for 35 minutes and cooling down thoroughly, the 3-bean chili, it's got a lovely smoky sweet flavour to it. I'm just going to prep up some of the boxes. So I've been told these are a bit brittle when they come out the freezer, so I'm just being a bit careful. So far they seem okay. And then I'm just going to portion up 3 lots. I'm also going to have a bowl. Now it is baking hot here in the UK. I am not very hungry because of the heat, but I am going to have a bowl of the chili because I need to eat something. The rest is going to go in with the frozen down batch cooked rice. There we go. So we've got 3 of these set aside for the week. One of them is going to stay on the side so the rice defrosts. And I've also got a lentil stew and rice out to defrost. That's it for day 2. Day 2's finished. We've got 6 meals prepped ready for the week, plus dinner, which is really good. Breakfast is 1 sachet of porridge with some salt. I'm saving the fruit to go with my lunch at work today. I found a shady spot to have some fruit. I just wanted to mention the fruit specifically because after that £1 a day challenge last week, I really missed having fruit. I am a big fruit eater. I do love it. I've not got a sweet tooth when it comes to chocolate and stuff like that, but I love fruit. I can eat fruit constantly. So I got my apple, got my banana, deliberately didn't put it in my porridge for breakfast because I wanted some snacks. And then you won't see it here because it's so shady from being in the forest, but it is going to be one of the hottest days of the year, and Numbnuts here has decided to have a spicy hot chili for lunch. Anyway, I'll join you at lunchtime. I'm just sat ready to have my lunch. I'll have to be honest with you, I broke that, and that was me not being, that was purely me throwing a drink into my cool bag. So that's not really a reflection on this tray and its abilities. But I've got my chili with rice. I'm gonna have this, and then that should keep me going until I get home from work. Right, so I've just got home. Gonna make up the rest of this dough. Gonna make the rest of the tortillas. Sat in the fridge since yesterday. It doesn't matter, be fine. Just gonna flour the side. And then I'm gonna add some flavouring. I could have done it, to be fair, I could have done it when I was making the flour, putting the flour and that in, but we'll just work with what we're doing. So I'm using some shawarma seasoning, which is salt, coriander, onion, cumin, garlic powder, paprika, smoked paprika, turmeric, cinnamon, porcini mushroom powder, black pepper, cloves, anti-caking agent. So I'll just put that through the dough. Then I'm just going to portion it off. And we're going to roll these as thin as we can. A bit like we did the other day. Try and make them as thin as possible. And then what we'll do is we'll make bread on day 4 tomorrow evening. And that will be what will see us through to the end of the week. I'm going to do the potato curry tonight. And then we've done, actually that's my plan. So I'll do the potato curry tonight and use up this. And then we'll make the bread tomorrow. And then we've pretty much done all the cooking we need to do for the whole week to see us all the way through. Which is a nice feeling. Especially with all the heat we're having and work being busy. I'm going to chuck that one in the pan. And then repeat the process. I've got the lentil stew. I've added a bit of garlic salt, some black pepper. This has just been reheated in the microwave. Then I've added some salad. And then I've got some of the tortilla, more like flatbread, because I accidentally cooked it too long. But it would be perfect to go in with the stew. I've got a couple more of the tortillas up there ready to go. And then I'm just getting ready. So after dinner, I'm going to get on and make the potato curry. So we're going to make a potato curry. Ingredients wise, we're going to use 7 potatoes. They are looking a bit mank. But once we peeled them, they'll be fine. Going to chuck in some lentils for an extra bit of protein in this. We use 1 onion, some of the tomatoes, 4 cloves of garlic, 2 of the green peppers, and I'm not going to touch my face once I cut them. Some celery. Don't normally put celery in it, but why not? Last of the tomato passata, some paprika, some cumin, some medium curry powder, some garam masala. I'm going to get on, peel the potatoes. Got some oil in the pan. I'm just getting the onions to go in. This is purely for me. I'm doing these onions a lot bigger. So I'm actually cutting them like that because that's how I want them. If I was doing it for Vicky, I'd have to do them smaller than that. She wouldn't be a fan. And then I've got the garlic, which again, I'm going to do bigger chunks. It's all going to go in the pan and get fried down. That's on. We're going to slice up the celery. Chop the tomatoes in half. Slice the peppers in half and then slice them so they're in bigger chunks as well. Then I'm going to dice the potatoes. Next we're going to add all the potatoes. Into that we're going to add the seasoning and spices. So we're going to go 4 teaspoons of the medium curry powder, 2 teaspoons of paprika. Gonna have to do half size. 2 teaspoons of garam masala, then half a teaspoon of cumin. Loads of spices and herbs, plus some black pepper. Mix that round so it coats all the potatoes. Chuck in the rinsed off lentils. What's left of the passata. Now I need a bit more liquid, so I'm going to fill the carton of passata up to get the rest of the tomato goodness out. Add that to the pan, because again, where we're using lentils, this really is going to soak up a lot of the moisture. This will thicken up quite quickly. And then I'm going to chuck in the celery, chilies and tomatoes. And then we're going to leave that for 35 minutes. We're going to bring it up to the boil, leave it to simmer. I've got 3 big portions of the potato curry. There was another portion including a bit left there, but my daughter's just nicked it because she said it tastes really good. Put one away for tomorrow evening, and then I've got 2 more to put away for the rest of the week. Really happy with how that's come out. It did need a little bit of extra salt for seasoning, but other than that it's got a nice, not too spicy, but a little bit of heat to it. Breakfast this morning is 2 packs of the porridge. I'm having them at work, which is the convenience of having these sachets. So I've just had that. I've had a little bit of sugar to it today. And then for lunch later on, I've got the potato curry and rice. I've heated it up, wrapped in some foil. This little bag keeps it nice and warm. And then, because I don't want warm banana, I'll just put a banana. I've got a banana and apple and one of the wraps that I made to go with the curry. Sat enjoying my lunch. The potato curry is lovely with a bit of the tortillas. I'm thoroughly enjoying this week. I've still got my apple and banana to use up later on in the afternoon when I need a snack. See you later on for this evening's dinner. I'm just heating up a chilli, and I thought I'd make a little crunchy salad to go with the chilli, just because I fancied it. And it uses up an onion and some celery and a bit of carrot. So it's going to be like a coleslaw style one. You'll see some pasta cooking in the background. Doing the pesto pasta for the family. Wash the celery and slice that really thin as well. Grate the carrot. Mayonnaise, a little bit of English mustard, some coriander, some pepper, a couple of chili flakes, and mix that all together. So I've just heated up one of the chilies with the rice, and then what I can do is serve it with a load of this crunchy salad. A nice dinner. I'm going to put a little bit more black pepper on the chili beans. I don't know if I've actually mentioned about the flavour, but it's got a really nice smoky barbecue flavour, this chili. Peyton, my daughter, loves it. Vicky said it tastes really nice, although Vicky isn't the biggest fan of lentils, so it's a bit one of them. She likes the beans. She would have done it without the lentils. Let's try it with the salad. That's awesome. I'm going to sit down and eat my dinner, sort out everyone else's pasta, then I'm going to get back in the kitchen and make some bread tonight. So to make the bread, we're going to need plain flour, some sunflower oil, granulated sugar, water, some fast action dried yeast, some salt. First thing we're going to do is get the water into the mixing bowl and dissolve the sugar. So the recipe calls for 1.5 cups, which is approximately 350 mils of warm water. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar, now that the sugar's dissolved, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast. Now in the UK you can buy them in little sachets, so it's just over 14 grams for 1 tablespoon of the active yeast, so I'm going to use 2 sachets. I'm going to leave the mixture for 10 to 15 minutes until it becomes frothy. Now that the mixture's been left for 10 minutes, you can see the foaminess on the top. So we're going 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 2 tablespoons of oil. So we're going to start by adding 3 cups of the flour. We're going to hold back from the 4th one because we may not need it. So what we're going to do is put the 3 cups in, which is, each cup is 150 grams of flour if you want to work in grams. So we'll add the first cup, cup number 2, cup number 3, and then we're going to combine the mixture. I'm going to go ahead and add the other cup of flour. I've added half so far. We'll mix that in before I commit. And then the last of the flour. We're going to keep the flour out because we are going to need that for when we need the dough. At this point I'm going to get my hands in to the mixture. The next step in the process is to flour the side, and then we are going to knead the dough. I like to flour my hands as well because it helps to avoid it sticking. For roughly 10 minutes we're going to knead the dough. Now that the dough has been kneaded for 10 minutes, so I put some olive oil into a bowl. Then we're going to place the mixture into the oil bowl. Then you can either cover it with a clean kitchen towel, some cling film. So I'm going to cover it with the cling film. And then we're going to leave that to stand for 60 to 90 minutes. As you can see, the dough has doubled in size. And then it says to punch down the dough to remove the air bubbles. And then it says to leave on a floured surface for a minute. To rest. Right, we're just going to knead it, and then we're going to, for a minute, we also want to start trying to shape it so it fits the tin. Lightly oil the tray, and we're going to place the dough into the container, into the tin. Then I'm going to use a knife to score it, like so. Then I'm just going to use some melted butter on the top instead of using one of the eggs or milk. This is meant to give it a softer, buttery crust. We will see. And allow it to sit for 10 minutes in the tray before we pop it in the oven. Now it's risen in the tray, I'm going to get that in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. Right, it's been in for 40 minutes. Let's get the bread out. There we go. Carefully take it out of the tin and let it rest. This is going to be hot. Yoy! Vicky, come see.
Oh my god. That looks lovely.
And let it rest.
Yeah.
Not going to cut it.
Yeah, no.
But I'm happy with that.
Oh, it smells amazing as well.
Thank you, baby.
Well, pal.
There we go. So there's the bread. So it's been in for 40 minutes. Taken it out of the tin. Going to leave it to rest. It's going to need at least 10 minutes to rest on the side. Then I'll put it in a container. For breakfast this morning, I'm going to make an egg sandwich with this bread. Someone said to cut it from the bottom to get better lines. There's my homemade bread. Could have done a better job of cutting it, but never mind. Delicious. Really happy with the way this bread's turned out. It's lovely. I did a good job. Finish this, get my butt to work. Just pulled over for my lunch, lentil stew with rice. I'm not getting bored of these. I absolutely love these. These are really filling, delicious lunches, and it's so convenient to have them so I can zap them in the microwave. The beauty of batch cooking meals is on a day like today, where I had plans to make soup and do all this, that and the other, but I got home and I'm knackered and I can't be bothered. You've got a dinner ready to go. So I just literally heated this up and I've got dinner. I will definitely make soup tomorrow. It's just been one of them days and I'm not feeling cooking. I just want to chill out. Back in my van for breakfast. I've got 2 of the porridge sachets with a little bit of sugar. It's really handy having these on the go. I could, well, to be honest with you, I could just put porridge in a cup and take it and make it, can I really? But I'm sticking with the idea of the sachets being a good idea. And then for lunch I've got a potato curry with rice, I've got my last banana, and I've got another apple. That's me good for today. And then tonight, because I didn't get anything out the freezer, I have definitely got to make the carrot soup, and I'm going to make something else to go with it. Just about to tuck into my potato curry for my lunch, and then I'll get back tonight and get on with that soup. Right, so we're going to make a roasted carrot soup. I've just peeled the carrots. This is the last of the bag of carrots. Just going to take the bottoms and the tops off. So I do a lot of my soups in the slow cooker. If you've watched my other budget challenges, you'll see that I like to just chuck things in the slow cooker. We're going to do it slightly differently this time round. I'm going to try and show you how to make a roasted carrot soup, nice and super creamy, but without using cream. The reason why we're going to roast the carrots is it brings out the sweet and the savoury notes. You can skip this bit, but I just think when I've made this previously, it's tasted nicer having the carrots roasted a bit. So we're just going to slice them up, stick them in the oven for 30 minutes. That means I can go get a shower and come back and finish the dinner. Right, while the carrots are finishing off roasting, we're going to get on and do the rest of the soup. So I've got some oil in the pan, which I'm just going to heat up, and then I'm going to saute the onions, an onion, and then some garlic as well. So we've got 2 cloves of garlic. So we'll add the onions and garlic to the pan. Now the onion's sauteed, we're going to go for half a teaspoon of ground coriander and half a teaspoon of ground cumin and some black pepper. We're going to add the carrots. They're roasted but they're not burnt, because that does affect the flavour. And then to this we're going to add 4 cups of vegetable stock, and we're going to leave that to simmer for 5 minutes. And while we're doing that, I'm going to get something else prepared. I've got 2 slices of our homemade bread. Just going to cover them in some olive oil, a little bit of garlic salt, a little bit of dried basil, and onto the tray which the carrots are on, and we're just going to put them in the oven. Whilst that simmers down, I'm going to chop up some tomatoes. This is the last of the tomatoes. To the tomatoes we're going to add a tiny squirt of lemon juice, black pepper, some olive oil, and loads of basil, which has been growing on my windowsill. Set that to the side for a minute. Right, now that the soup's cooled down a little bit, we're going to transfer this to the blender. Trying not to make a mess. Add a little extra creaminess without adding cream. We're going to put some butter in there, so about 2 tablespoons of butter. But I did have to empty this a little bit because it was too full. Right, that's that done. Should have showed you a bit clearer how the difference in creaminess from adding the butter, my bad. And then we got the bruschetta. This isn't part of the rules of the challenge, but I have so much left. Plus I've got 2 meals for tomorrow at work. I'm gonna make this soup and bruschetta for me and my wife. So there we go, we've got 2 roasted carrot soups with bruschetta, lovely fresh tomatoes and basil, and a little side salad. And I'm going to sit down and have this dinner with my wife. Really happy with how that's come out. The butter really does do wonders when it comes to the carrot soup, especially when you haven't got cream to add in. I'll just give it a little taste test for you, make sure it's all good before I feed it to the wife. That's got a lovely sweet carrot flavour to it. Some of this homemade bread, possibly one of my favourite meals of any of the challenges I've done so far. Final breakfast for the week is the last 3 eggs scrambled on a piece of our homemade bread. Last lunch of the week-long challenge, and it's the last lentil stew with rice. And I'll tell you what, I'm definitely going to have this again for lunch. I'm going to make some more up. I'm going to probably add a little bit of bacon in, just be delicious with some bacon. Definitely been one of my favourite weeks of budget challenging for my lunches at work so far. Someone did mention in the comments about getting a heated box to heat up my lunch when I'm at work. Definitely going to look into that. I think that was a great shout, so that'll be something I'll be looking at later on down the line, especially as winter comes up. Something hot to eat when you're at work and it's cold and miserable is definitely a morale booster. Really nice to have, super easy on a Friday night. I've got the potato curry with rice, and that's us done for the week. So that's it for this week's challenge. It was one of the favourite challenges I've done so far. I really like working around that £2 a day budget. I feel like it gives us enough scope to experiment, have nice meals, and it's still quite a nice tight budget. So £14 for the week is, I think, it's pretty decent in 2025 for one person. It is a fun challenge. It's a test of skills. It's a test of my skills to create healthy meals and stuff like that. I did give Payne a bowl of curry. I did share a bowl of soup and one of the bruschettas with Vicky, and I did have some stuff left over. So I reckon if my portions had been a little bit smaller, Vicky's not a big eater, probably could have done 2 people on that. Maybe not so much for the breakfast, but I don't know. Maybe, I mean, Vicky just eats brown flakes, so could have just bought brown flakes, and then we could definitely do, I could definitely do 2 people for 20 quid a week. In fact, I'm going to probably do that in the challenge. I've got loads of challenge ideas coming up. I've got loads of things I want to do. I want to revisit this £2 one because I had so much fun doing it. I think that there's room for us to experiment with different ingredients. So maybe we ditch the potatoes, we pick something else up. Maybe we lose the rice and then that forces us to be a bit more creative with something else. Maybe we pick up a chicken. I've been shopping this evening and I picked up some reduced chickens. I'll show you, hang on. I've just stuck it in the freezer. It doesn't go out of date till tomorrow anyway, but for £2.15 there's a whole chicken there. I'm thinking we do £2 a day for the next challenge and we incorporate a chicken. In it that way, I've now got £11.85 left to spend for the next £2 a day challenge for the week. We'll do a chicken one. I think that's what's going to happen, but that won't be until after next week, which is the World War II ration diet. I've done a load of research. It's a combination of items which are rationed and stuff which were part of the Dig for Victory, stuff which was non-rationed but restricted, hard to get hold of, stuff you got at home. Loads of information to give you in that one. That one's, I'm not going to do a walk around the shop. I'm going to source the ingredients. Some things are going to be a little bit tricky to get hold of, like pearl barley and stuff like that. But I'll go get all the ingredients for that one, and then I will go through what we've got for the week, and then we'll do it from that kind of point of view. It's going to be a slightly different format to the rest of these limited budget challenges. I just think the World War II ration one, and a lot of people said it in the comments, is a neat idea. It's a fun idea. It's something different to do with the challenges. Then we'll come back and we do the stretch a whole chicken for a week with a £2 a day budget. And I'm going to use the one in the freezer because I've actually got two in the oven as well. So I'm pre-cooking stuff for the kids, because you can cook chicken and then portion it out and then freeze it down and then use it, stuff like that. So I picked up 3 whole chickens for £6, just over £6, £6.45 maths, which is a bargain. So you just grab it as and when. So I'm going to include that in the £2 a day chicken budget. One other thing, just quickly, because a few people have asked, when do I take a break? I do give myself a little bit of time off. I do give myself an exception. I'm having tomorrow off, and then Sunday will be the start of the World War II ration. So I am going to enjoy a ridiculously cheesy homemade mac and cheese with some of this roasted chicken tomorrow, which is in the oven now. And I'll treat myself to a lovely bottle of wine. So that'll be me for tomorrow. Couple of glasses of red wine, some macaroni cheese and some chicken. And then back onto the challenges. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of this challenge. Let me know if you want to see some more £2 a day challenges with different ingredients, trying to be more creative. Let me know if there's any challenges you'd like to see me do in future. I always make a list of different ideas. Let me know what you'd have done with some of these ingredients, if there's anything you'd have done different. Let me know anywhere I can improve on what I'm doing, because constructive criticism and positive feedback, anything like that, it really helps me to improve the channel, improve these videos I'm putting out. Enough waffling. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in a future video. Bye bye.